what changes has Pullman PD made when it comes to the use of force?
And why a local business has closed down another location. Murrow News 8 starts now.
Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Mackenzie Dayton.
And I'm Luke Walker. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
The Pullman Police Department is changing its use of force policy. The new policy prohibits chokeholds and requires that officers intervene if they see another officer using excessive force. There's also a new intervention policy. This will guarantee the use of force incidents will be properly documented and handled on screen. On screen are the other changes Pullman PD are making this year.
There is a new student fee for WSU students. Murrow News 8's Natalie Newcomb has details on what that new fee is for.
Food pantry located here in Leidy, and that fee is supposed to try to help solve student food insecurity here on campus. And that fee is $5, but you can choose to opt out of that fee if you need to. Right now, that food bank is being supported through donations from members of the community and also businesses like the Moscow Food Co-op. Right now, that fee is pending approval from the Board of Regents and Office for Equal Access and Opportunities. I'm Natalie Newcomb for Murrow News 8.
Thank you, Natalie. As President Biden moves forward with his support for DACA students, Murrow News 8 reporter Jose Cuevas finds out what it looks like for one WSU student.
I really didn't even know I was undocumented until probably like high school or so. It was kind of started making somewhat of a, impact with me.
WSU student and dreamer Uriel Lopez Gonzalez's story is a familiar one to many young people who are registered under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. DACA is a program which allows children of undocumented immigrants who are brought over unlawfully to be protected from deportation and allows them to acquire a social security number. Lopez, like many other dreamers, was brought over to this country at a young age. Born in 1996, his mother left Mexico in 1998, meeting a man in California who would later become Lopez's stepdad. He took responsibility of bringing Lopez to the U.S. when he was 2 years old. Then in 2012, he registered for DACA. Under the Trump administration, Lopez felt some insecurities about the program staying alive due to their stance on immigration, and those 4 years felt like a roller coaster of emotions for him. Now, under a new administration, Lopez does have some hope for the future.
But for me, I felt a lot of hope. I felt a lot of optimism on immigration policy. But at the end of the day, Biden can only do so much when it comes to, executive orders or executive actions through the pen. Ultimately, it lands on the legislature to give me a fix, to give me a permanent spot in this country.
From the many actions President Biden has taken in his first month in office, directing immigration officials to use inclusive language when referring to non-citizens is a step in the right direction for Lopez.
I see it as a more humane approach to speaking about an individual.
And Lopez wants to leave a positive message for his fellow dreamers.
Keep the faith, stay persistent, focus on your craft, focus on your skill set, focus on your career. Always keep a positive mind state of where you're heading towards. Always have a vision.
It's a message not only useful for dreamers, but for all of us during these times. For Murrow News 8, I'm Josue Cuevas.
The Daily Grind drive-thru in South Grand closes due to traffic congestion. Last month's opening of the Greek restaurant Yeah Yeah Nikki has caused traffic congestion in the lot that both businesses occupy. Moscow Pullman Daily News reported Daily Grind was on a month-to-month lease, where the property owner did not want to invest in a new driveway. Daily Grind spoke with Murrow News 8 this morning saying it's not that simple, that they had no options but to leave.
The owner of the Greek restaurant came to the owner of the property and asked if he would be able to lease the other half of the space to him, and the owner of the property decided to go ahead and just do that. So we were given really no notice. We were given about a month to get out of there, so none of those options really compensated us at all.
Daily Grind tells us the landlord has raised rent regularly since they bought the business in 2013, and they have never struggled to pay the rent on time. Now for your COVID-19 update. 16 new cases of COVID-19 at WSU and 25 in Whitman County as of Thursday. There are 13 active cases on campus, with 26 of them being students. This comes 2 days after no new case reports at WSU. With graduation right around the corner, some students are starting their search for internship. Murrow News 8 reporter Jake Knight talks to one graduate who is currently looking for an internship.
Finding an internship was a struggle for WSU grad Thor Stoppard.
I went on workinsports.com and applied to, I don't even know how many on there. No responses or anything like that. And then another connection I had kind of fell through because it wasn't going to work because of COVID.
With April 30th fast approaching, graduating students are going to have to begin their hunt for summer internships. And Stoppard emphasizes the importance of being able to adjust with the pandemic.
Flexibility, adaptability, they kind of go hand in hand, especially, I mean, it was super important right now just because of how everything is. You guys just kind of adapt and be flexible.
Many students are stressing out about the internship process, and one of the most stressful parts is the interview.
Joe Schwab, CEO of Uniplex Construction, has a tip for students that will pique the interviewer's interest.
Consider the interview process also an opportunity for you to interview the company. And if you ask questions back and you start interviewing them about who they are, what your experience will be like, what you'll be doing, what you can expect to learn, again, I guarantee you right there, that'll step you out of the crowd.
When Schwab is looking for an intern, he wants an intern who is willing to work and put in the effort to improve during the internship.
And that they really have the ability to learn. You know, it's one thing if we tell you or show you a whole bunch of different things throughout a trimester, but if we don't see that anything really changes from you from the beginning to the end, except that you know what coffee flavor I like, then we've both wasted our time.
If you are a student stressed out and companies are not responding, Stoppard says persistence is key.
Follow up with them. If they don't respond for a couple days, email them again. The best thing you can do is be the first person in their inbox when they wake up in the morning.
From Murrow News 8, I'm Jake Knight.
Farmers in Washington and across the nation will likely see their overall revenue drop next year, as 2020 was a strong year. According to the agricultural economist at Washington State University, due to a larger and expected amount of exports, wheat prices saw a boost. However, the next few years are predicted to see a flatline in wheat prices. Experts are crediting the flatline due to having less government payment in the future.
A new flour milling company announced its intention to buy the Pullman-based Hendricks Trading Company yesterday. According to Pullman Radio, premier flour milling and ingredient company Ardent Mills is planning to purchase all of the business operations of the Pullman-based company. CEO of HTC Phil Hendricks said in the announcement the trading company was looking for a partner with expertise to take the chickpea market to the next level. Both parties expect the deal to close in April.
Two universities with two different plans for graduation this spring and how one senior is affected. More on the story with reporter Ava Wainhouse.
It's been 4 years, and Bree Trump can't even walk across the stage at graduation.
It's also kind of a relief to be able to walk across the stage because you're like, oh, this is the last thing I ever have to do for college. But now it's just like, sitting at home on Zoom.
In a memo released back in January, WCU officials told their students once again if they're graduating this spring, they would be graduating online.
We just can't in good conscience plan to hold an in-person event knowing that the governor doesn't permit it and having us hope that things might change.
But at the University of Idaho, only 15 minutes away from WCU, the university's planning for an in-person graduation for their students this spring.
We're all here for that end goal of seeing our students succeed and walk across that stage, and everybody has missed it. So we're very excited to be able to do that, of course, conditions permitting.
Here at the front doors of Beasley, WCU students, faculty, friends, and family are usually hurrying in to watch a graduation ceremony in the spring. But this semester, the doors are locked. You can't even get inside.
I think they should have just let us walk across stage and made everybody who wants to walk get a COVID test and then let people walk across stage and then just not allow guests. Yeah, I'm disappointed. I think they could have definitely done something and they didn't.
What frustrates Bree the most is that she has friends over at the University of Idaho who are getting an in-person graduation and who are currently attending in-person classes, without COVID being much of a problem.
We have a positivity rate of less than 1%.
I completely understand that students are disappointed that they're not going to get that walk across the stage.
I just think they don't put students first at all.
By the looks of it, WSU seniors can start to plan to celebrate their years in college over Zoom this spring. This is Ava Wainhouse, Murrow, News 8.
The Spokane City Council is considering a potential new 3-year deal with the operators of the Yellowstone Pipeline. The pipeline runs through Spokane, and the City Council is hoping to get the pipeline owners to agree to a 3-year deal while a better safety assessment is conducted for the almost 70-year-old pipeline.
Shootings are on the rise in Spokane, according to the Spokane Police Department. Spokane police have responded to triple the numbers of shootings in the past 2-month period when compared to the last year or 2019. Many of these shootings were drive-by shootings, and many of the recent shootings seem to be gang-related and involve juveniles. Because some of these are gang-related, it's not uncommon for victims to avoid the hospital and police.
A WSU student team won first place at a construction management competition. The WSU team is coached by Jason Peschel, which took first in the Associated Schools of Construction competition, which is the largest construction management competition in the U.S. Despite impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic in virtual format, nearly 1,100 students from 46 universities and 19 states participated in the competition. This is the 3rd time in the last decade that WSU has won first place at this competition.
Could we soon only need one round of the COVID vaccine?
And when you could expect potential COVID relief? Find out next.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
King County Superior Court blocks the release of records about Seattle cops who were in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. 6 officers were identified who attended the pro-Trump rally before the U.S. Capitol invasion. 4 public records were requested for the personnel information, which have now been halted until March 10th. The officer's attorney, Kelly Sheridan, says that none of them participated in the riot and only attended a rally. Sheridan also says the officers would be harassed and harm their privacy and reputation if their identities were revealed.
The Washington Supreme Court struck down parts of the state's felony drug possession. Possession law became it doesn't require the state to prove that someone knowingly or unintentionally possessed the drugs. This law is making impacts beyond the courtroom as Seattle Police Department is instructing their officers to immediately stop making arrests for a suspected simple drug possession offense.
A key FDA advisory panel is scheduled to vote today on whether to recommend the approval of Johnson & Johnson's COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use. According to CNBC, a favorable vote from the Vaccines and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee will likely clear the path for the U.S. agency to approve of the vaccine for emergency use. The vaccine from Johnson & Johnson is strong enough for one shot instead of multiple. The vaccine could be authorized as early as Saturday.
The House passed a bill on Thursday that allows LGBTQ protectants within the nation's labor and civil rights laws. The Equality Act faces an uphill battle in the Senate, but it passed 224 to 206 in the House, with 3 Republicans joining Democrats in the voting yes. The bill opens up existing laws to include sexual orientation and gender identification as protected characteristics.
The House is set to vote this evening on President Biden's COVID-19 relief package. The Democratic-controlled House is expected to pass the bill. The relief package includes $1,400 direct payments, a $400 per week unemployment bonus, a per-child allowance of up to $3,600, and billions of dollars to assist vaccines in local schools and governments.
Costco is set to raise the company's minimum wage to $16 per hour next week as CEO Greg Jelinek announced the plan while testifying before a Senate Budget Committee. Previously, Costco's minimum wage was set at $15. The announcement comes as Congress debates a federal minimum wage boost to $15 an hour by 2025. The federal minimum wage has been at $7.25 an hour since 2009, with numerous cities and states passing laws to raise the minimum. Costco will now have a starting wage that is $1 above fellow retailers, including Amazon, Target, and Best Buy.
A New York prosecutor has obtained copies of Donald Trump's tax records after the Supreme Court this week rejected the former president's effort to prevent them from being handed over. According to a spokesperson, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office enforced a subpoena on Trump's accounting firm within hours of the Supreme Court's ruling on Monday. District Attorney Cyrus R. Vance Jr. is using the tax records as evidence in a criminal grand jury investigation into Trump's business dealings. The documents are protected by grand jury secrecy rules and are not expected to be made public.
It's been a cold few days recently. Sigmund Soroka will let us know what to expect when we come back.
Who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Days, months,
Hey, I'm Jim from across the street.
years,
I'd like to give you this.
a lifetime can rush by without realizing what we're missing. We lose some of the best moments, some that may never repeat,
Come on.
or detach from people around us. Our loved ones grow used to this pattern. But it doesn't have to be that way. We have a choice to take action. It's never too late to live a full life again. Hear how many of us Vietnam veterans have managed our mental health and reconnected with our families. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Good afternoon, everybody. You may have noticed there was a lot of snow on the ground this morning when you woke up, but looking at today's high, a lot of that has melted off moving into this afternoon. The weather is going to be very windy through the weekend. There's a wind advisory for the Palouse region. The low is going to be 25 tonight. You can expect some icy road conditions when the sun goes down at 5:30. Moving into tomorrow, it's going to be much of the same for the weather. You should expect some snow, scattered showers, low temps in the evening with large gusts of winds throughout the day. Moving on to the state map, looking at The west side here, Olympia and Seattle are going to be dealing with the same kind of weather off the sound, rainy, low 50s, upper 40s. Yakima is going to be similar to Tri-Cities, but a little bit colder, but more sunshine. They're a little closer to the pass, so you can expect it to be a little lower. Moving on to the east side here, you got Spokane, awfully warmer than Pullman. Kind of jealous of that. They don't have as much snow as we're getting, so that kind of sucks. But moving into the 5-cast, you can expect that the weather to be a little snow winter mixed for the next couple of days as we finish out February, but it's going to get a little warmer, a little nicer moving into the beginning of March. The sun should come out beginning of next week as we obviously start March, like I said. So expect the weather to get nicer as we move into spring. Back to Mackenzie and Luke at the desk.
A new series. How did the Cougs fare in the opener?
And will the Russell Wilson drama ever end? We have an update on the situation when we come back.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. I'm Isaac Connors here with your sports. WSU men's basketball was handed their 11th loss of the season last night. The Arizona Wildcats beat WSU by a score of 69-53. WSU's Noah Williams, who put up 40 points in the previous game against Stanford, was held to 8 points last night. WSU coach Kyle Smith shared his thoughts on the loss.
Tough one tonight for us. I thought we played hard, very purposeful for the first 18 to 20 minutes of the game. Actually played pretty hard throughout. Got to make shots to win on the road. We didn't shoot it well enough. Didn't rebound it well enough. We played hard. We just didn't play well. For us, I thought we played hard, very purposeful for the first 18 to 20 minutes of the game. Actually played pretty hard throughout. Got to make shots to win on the road. We didn't shoot it well enough. Didn't rebound it well enough. We played hard. We just didn't play well.
WSU's next game will be Saturday at 1:30 p.m. against Arizona State. And WSU men's baseball used a late-inning rally to fuel their 6-3 victory over Dixie State. Kyle Manzardo had 3 hits, which improved his hit streak to 22 games. The Cougs improved to 4-1 and continue their series against Dixie State today at 2:05 p.m. You can catch the game on the WAC Digital Network. Speaking of baseball, it's been a strange season for the Cougs baseball team. Murrow News 8 reporter Graydon Benton investigated how players and coaches have been handling this unique situation.
Washington State baseball is poised for a comeback in 2020. They started 9-7 before the pandemic canceled their season, but it has not stopped their momentum. This is shown in the new $10 million, 12,000 square foot building, the Back to Omaha project. Director of Player Development, David Bellamy, has seen an improvement in the culture and attitude in the program in his second year.
And the team is really starting to connect a lot better, and then they're starting to work harder because there's no reason to leave. They spend all day there. They're hitting in the cages. They're hanging out with each other, and it's really cool.
Preseason third-team All-American Kyle Manzardo says the facility has helped the team build new relationships they were not able to build before. He says he expects to show this to the fans on the baseball field this season.
I expect us to be pretty competitive, man. I think we've got a lot of depth, a lot more depth than last year, and a lot of really good pieces. And I think we should be pretty competitive.
The BTO project has also helped recruiting. The Cougars have the #1 junior college signing class in the country for 2021.
There's no reason that we can't recruit with the best of the Pac-12, and this is what we needed to kind of even the playing field, and now we're even, and now we're looking forward to the future.
Fans will have to wait a while before they settle into their new home. The Cougars are on the road for the first 6 weeks of the season. They will hold a facility reveal on March 30th.
Now, Cougar fans have to be excited about last week's performance against UC Davis. They took 3 of 4 from the Aggies. This week, they traveled to St. George, Utah, to play Dixie State in a 4-game series. This is Graydon Benton, Murrow News 8.
And in Seattle, the Russell Wilson trade rumors took a new turn yesterday afternoon. According to ESPN, Wilson has not demanded a trade and would like to stay in Seattle, but he said if he were to be traded, he would like to go to the Bears, Cowboys, Raiders, or Saints. The trade rumors were sparked when Wilson openly expressed his displeasure with the lack of change on the offensive line. And a winter coat is crucial during the winter.
We'll tell you about one animal who took it a step further. Murrow News 8 will be right back.
Days, months,
Hey, I'm Jim from across the street.
years,
I'd like to give you this.
a lifetime can rush by without realizing what we're missing. But it doesn't have to be that way. We have a choice to take action. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it.
Think you put on a winter coat? The sheep lost 78 pounds of wool. This wild sheep was found in the forests of Australia and was sheared for the first time in what seems like years. His fleece was weighing in about 78 pounds. Rescuers say the sheep, now named Barack, is safe and healthy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, and if you missed anything in this or any of our previous newscasts, you can always watch us on our YouTube channel.
And more news can be found at nwpb.org/MNA. And you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Have a good night.